Namaskar, myself Deepak Kumar Rath. I welcome you all to the digital channel of Uday India. Friends, what India thinks and how world reacts to it, how Western countries react to it, and how the developed nations are reacting to the rising stature of India. Friend, recently Trump threatens India, yes. And Donald Trump, the former US president, who is now seeking re-election, has brought up the topic of high taxes in India, levies on some American goods, particularly Harley Davidson motorbikes once more. And if he wins the US presidential election in 2024, he has vowed to enact reciprocal taxes. Yes. And Trump referred to India as a tariff king during his first term in office, and in May 2019 he ended India's preferential market access to the United States under the generalized system of preferences, which is known as GSP. So what is the reciprocal taxes is normal? The Reciprocal Trade Act of 1934, which Donald Trump has threatened to use against India, allows the US to impose the same tariffs on imports from other countries that those countries impose on imports from the US. This means that if India imposes a tariff of 100% on Harley Davidson motorcycles, the US could impose a tariff of 100% on Indian motorcycles. And this would be detrimental for India in several ways. Friends, first of all, it would make Indian goods more expensive for American consumers. That would again hurt the demand. Secondly, it would make it more difficult for Indian companies to export their goods to the US, which could hurt their sales and profits. And thirdly, it could lead to a trade war between India and US that would further damage the economies of both the countries. Friends, the impact on India-US relations would also be very negative. And a trade war would create tension and a distrust between the two countries, making it more difficult to cooperate on other issues like security, climate change. It could also lead to a loss of jobs in both the countries because the companies would move their production to their countries with lower tariffs. So in short, if you will explain the whole issue, the fact of the matter is that Donald Trump's threat to impose reciprocal tariffs on India would be a lose-lose situation for both the countries. Also, it would hurt the economies of both the countries, damage their relations, and lead to job losses. It is important to remember here that trade is a two-way street. If India lowers its tariff, Indians can get high-end products from the US at a lower cost, and Indian businesses can get lower tariffs from the US too. But if India does that, it will hamper its domestic economic goals. If India lowers its tariff on US goods, the US should reciprocate by lowering its tariffs on Indian goods. This would benefit both the countries and this will help to improve their relations. Now, there are some additional points that we must consider and think. The Reciprocal Trade Act is a relatively old law that was passed in 1930. It has not been used very often in recent years and its legality has been challenged in the court. So it is unclear whether the Trump administration would be able to successfully use the law to impose reciprocal tariffs on India. Even if Trump administration is able to impose reciprocal tariffs on India, it is not clear how effective they would be. India is a large and growing economy and it has a number of ways to retaliate against the US. And this could lead to a trade war that would hurt again both the countries. So friends, it is very important to remember here that trade is not just about tariffs. There are so many other factors that affect trade, like exchange rate between the US dollar and Indian rupee, the cost of transportation and quality of products. Tariffs are just one of the many factors that business consider when making decisions about where to produce and sell their goods. So overall, the threat of reciprocal tariffs is a serious one that could have a significant impact on India's economy and its relation with the United States. That's all for today. Again, in some other episodes, we will go further deep into the matter when things will improve that way. Stay tuned with Uday India. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.